All right, man. Welcome to Crow 777 Radio. This is the 12th member-only video. All of my solar work is exclusive to membership, and this is all about the second sun, what we're about to do here. I'm going to show you a series of images that have been sent me over the last year or more. They're not vetted, but they make a point. If you want to skip all these little images that show probably, the second sun, you can jump to 3 minutes and 14 seconds. But I have been sent so many of these that I couldn't start to make a video that was less than half an hour long. And it goes to show that this is happening. This is real. I'm going to tell you what I think is true about the sun, just to put it on the record. I've done it a number of times, but I'll put it on the record here. And I want to urge people to go out. You'll notice that in a lot of these images that I've been sent, the sun is low on the horizon. It appears to me right now that for whatever reason, at rise and set, at certain times, there's separation between the sun we see and the second sun. It appears that as it gets higher in the sky towards noon, and actually much earlier, it tucks in behind our sun much of the time. For some reason, not all of the time. Now, if you go out and you want to document this, and if you want to send me stuff, I would appreciate it, with where it was captured and the date and all. You can take stills, but you must take video. You'll notice in these shots, the people that took video, they moved the camera slightly, and that is the proof. If the two objects remain equidistant when the camera is moving, then it is very likely that you have shot the so-called second sun. I have come to a point where I accept that the second sun is tied to the age changes. To me, this is a cyclical event. I think there are cultures who covered it. The idea behind it that I currently think is the most likely is that as our binary gets closer to us, our consciousness explodes. There's no telling how far away it is from us right now. It does appear slightly smaller than our sun. Part of the reason is because our sun is so bright and the other object is much dimmer. But who knows how close it is. I suspect at some point in time it will no longer be deniable because it will be in plain view and people will not be able to dismiss it anymore. Again, if you go out to shoot at rise and set, or if you see it with your eyes, shoot video and slightly move the camera. Shoot at least 30 seconds of video with camera movement. To get on the record, I think the MasterCard logo is poking us in the eye, as is this scene on Tatooine from Star Wars. And that's just about what it looks like. Now, this is the imagery that I shot on the 11th, the first day I've been able to shoot this year. As you can tell, I've got a lot of work to get my equipment dialed back in, but there is evidence of the second sun, and in the last image here, I edited it in a way that you'll be able to see that. When I show you how to find the evidence in the still images I make, you'll be able to choose the images you want if you want that image in there. Each of these was shot on the 11th. That's inverted. The first one you saw was not, and then I'm going to show you a processed version. This is not as good as I usually can do, but I still have to get things dialed in, and this next image is going to show you evidence of the second sun. Look to the lower left. That line I put is the glow of the second sun tucked in behind the sun we see. Look at the top right, it's not there, and this evidence moves around from time to time. It will be at the lower right or the upper right. Now, these are the old images I shot, and I'm just going to cover while this runs the animations that I've been able to accumulate since I've been doing this. I'm just going to cover it again. It appears that the sun has separation with its binary, the second sun, the most of the time at sunrise and sunset. Not all of the time, apparently. As soon as it begins to get higher in the sky, it seems to tuck in behind our sun and get lost in the glow. Now, this is not always true either. During the Canadian fires, people filmed the other object at midday, and there was separation. But people can also remember the SLU observatory footage where they were shooting around midday, I think, and the other object was right next to the sun, not tucked in behind it. This could have to do with geography and the angle that you're looking, by the way. I love this image of an animated sunspot. I really want to get in on this and be able to create many of these. It's very fascinating, and I think it's also evidence that the sun is hollow. We're looking at an outer shell. But to get back to the point, at some point, I imagine there will be separation nearly all the time between these two objects when it gets close enough. And at that point, I think it will be undeniable that the binary to our sun is here, because it will be visible all the time. And as I have said so many times, in the movie 2010, which is the sequel to the film 2001, there's a speech at the end of that film that covers what I think will probably be true and correct. Although in that speech there's some weird wording that almost makes it seem like the second sun will either shorten or happen at nighttime. So who knows? I find that a little hard to believe, but could you imagine if nighttime was actually decreased by the appearance of the other body? Only time will tell. As we get in and things are warm again, I'm going to be shooting as much as I can, but the skies have been sprayed so heavily, as you can tell from the images that I showed you from the 11th of March. It is so difficult to focus and set the etalons and everything else. They've been spraying like banshees. I may start boiling vinegar again as I try to shoot, which introduces its own issues, depending on which direction the steam and the smoke from the boil are going. If you do film this, I would appreciate it if you send me the footage and tell me what time it was shot and roughly what your location is. You don't have to give me your street address, just as close as you want to get. Southern Ohio or something like that is fine. It gives me a general idea. Other than that, I'm going to let a few more of these clips run out, and I am going to be working shortly to start collecting more animation data and more still data. As I get really quality data, I will add to the stills that are available for people to purchase, and I will keep that price low so as many people as possible can participate. I love this image. This was shot over 4 hours of data collection. There's the raw version without the color added, without the lighting corrected, but you can see down into that sunspot. There's something going on down there, little termination flashes. It's fascinating, and I hope to be able to get better data. But with that, I'm going to bid you all adieu. I hope you enjoyed the fact that I am beginning to be able to prove that the second sun is a thing. It is here, and it will become a big deal at some point. For me, it's already a big deal. But with that, I want to wish you all a happy, healthy, and higher-minded new era. There it is, man.